he's talking about what a dangerous person I am because I'm a bigot and I'm homophobic. I support Trump. No, we cannot have her.
Lady who was bringing up three very lovely girls.
But behind the perfect curls and spotless house were marijuana mishaps, tragic pet deaths, and hair falling out in clumps. The Brady Bunch wasn't America's perfect family, it was chaos disguised as comedy. You'll hear about castmates who didn't know each other's real names, a romance so wild the director had to step in, and a bathroom that defied biology.
Cousin, dear cousin, are you dying? Oh.
These are 30 weird Brady Bunch facts that prove the family's wholesome image was built on pure madness. Stick around for the bonus fact that turned failure into legacy. Fact 1. The kids didn't know each other's real names.
We're almost finished, Dad. You didn't need anything at all.
By 1969, the Brady house had already become a second home to 6 young actors. The cameras were rolling, the scripts were memorized, and America was about to meet television's newest family. But there was one small problem. Barry Williams wasn't talking to Barry Williams. Maureen McCormick wasn't responding to Maureen McCormick. For weeks, the Brady kids existed in a parallel universe where they only answered to Greg, Marcia, Peter, Jan, Bobby, and Cindy. During those first chaotic weeks of filming, the young cast was so laser-focused on remembering their lines and character names that they completely forgot to learn their co-stars' actual identities. They were living their roles so intensely that reality became secondary. The breakthrough came during a lunch break when Susan Olsen finally asked, "Wait, what's your real name?" The revelation that followed wasn't just introductions. It was the moment 6 strangers became a family, both on and off screen. Fact 2. Gene Hackman almost played Mike Brady.
It's the first time I ever saw you take 21 spoons of sugar.
What followed wasn't just typical casting decisions, it was a sliding doors moment that could have changed television history forever. Picture this: Gene Hackman in a polyester suit, delivering fatherly wisdom to 6 kids while plotting his next gritty crime thriller. The man who would become Popeye Doyle from The French Connection was seriously considered for Mike Brady's cardigan-wearing, architecture-discussing patriarch role. But Paramount executives looked at Hackman's TVQ, his television audience familiarity rating, and delivered their verdict. Not recognizable enough for family television. They needed someone safer, more dependable. Enter Robert Reed, the Shakespearean-trained actor who would spend 5 seasons questioning every script decision. The cosmic joke? The following year, while Reed was explaining the importance of responsibility to television children, Hackman was accepting an Oscar for The French Connection. Sometimes the road not taken leads to Academy Awards. Fact 3. The Brady house was mostly fake.
You look good too, Dad.
Thank you very much.
There were no authentic interiors, just Hollywood magic and the collective suspension of disbelief. The iconic Brady house that defined suburban perfection for generations existed in 2 separate realities. The exterior shots featured a real house in Studio City, California, a modest ranch that became one of television's most recognizable facades. But step through that front door, and you'd hit a wall, literally. The interior scenes were filmed on a sound stage miles away, where set designers built the Brady family's world from scratch. Those famous front steps where the kids sat for family photos, completely non-functional. The living room where Carol delivered maternal wisdom, a careful construction of plywood and paint. In 2018, HGTV finally bridged the gap between fiction and reality, purchasing the actual house and spending months remodeling the interior to match the television set. For the first time in 50 years, walking through the Brady front door would lead somewhere other than disappointment. Fact 4. Susan Olsen's hair was falling out in clumps.
I got a well-new dollhouse. Dollhouse.
The pursuit of blonde perfection had consequences. Real, physical consequences that no one anticipated. Susan Olsen arrived at the Brady set as a naturally blonde child, but that wasn't blonde enough for television. Producers envisioned something brighter, more television perfect. So they bleached, and bleached, and bleached again. Week after week, harsh chemicals stripped Olsen's hair of its natural protection. By season 2, the damage became impossible to ignore. Chunks of hair were falling out in her hands. The young actress would find clumps on her pillow each morning, tangible evidence of television's demanding beauty standards. The production team finally called a halt to the chemical treatments, but the damage was done. The price of playing television's perfect little sister was literally falling out of Susan Olsen's head, one strand at a time. Fact 5. Robert Reed hated everything about the show.
That's right.
Hi, I'm Mike Brady. I'm Peter's father.
Meanwhile, in his dressing room, the man playing America's ideal father was writing manifestos of creative rebellion. Robert Reed arrived at the Brady Bunch with a Northwestern University drama degree and Shakespearean training. He'd performed the classics, studied method acting, and prepared for a career of serious dramatic work. Instead, he found himself explaining homework policies to television children while wearing sweater vests. His handwritten notes to creator Sherwood Schwartz became legendary among the cast and crew. Page after page of script analysis, character motivation breakdowns, and suggestions for more realistic family dynamics. The producers read them politely and ignored almost every suggestion. Reed desperately wanted to grow a mustache, anything to distinguish his character or add gravitas to the role. The network refused. He was trapped in a creative prison of his own success, playing a father figure while feeling like a rebellious teenager himself. Fact 6. Barry Williams showed up high for a reshoot.
Would your Royal Highnesses care to make up their mind?
What happened next wasn't scheduled in any call sheet or production timeline. Barry Williams had discovered marijuana, like many teenagers in the early 1970s. On what was supposed to be his day off, he decided to experiment with his newfound recreational hobby. The universe, apparently, had other plans. The call came in the afternoon. Emergency reshoot for Law and Disorder. Williams, still very much under the influence, had no choice but to report to set. What followed was a masterclass in how not to perform while impaired. His eyes were glazed, his movements uncertain, his line delivery stilted and strange. The director took one look at the footage and made an executive decision: rewrite the script to minimize Barry's role. What was meant to be a Greg-centric episode became a frantic damage control operation. The lesson learned? Television waits for no one, especially not teenage actors discovering counterculture in 1970s Los Angeles. Fact 7. The missing toilet scandal.
You call this sharing a bathroom? I call it sharing a beauty parlor.
In 1969, the Brady bathroom became television's most controversial missing fixture. 6 kids, 1 bathroom, and absolutely no toilet in sight. The Brady children shared their bathroom space, but television standards of the time deemed toilet bowls too risque for family programming. The result was a bathroom that defied basic human biology and raised questions that no one was prepared to answer. Where did the Brady kids actually use the facilities? How did they maintain their perfect grooming without acknowledging basic bodily functions? The missing toilet became an unintentional metaphor for television's sanitized version of family life. Viewers noticed, but no one talked about it officially. The Brady Bunch existed in a realm where families could be perfect precisely because they never dealt with the messy realities that actual families face. Even something as universal as bathroom fixtures was too real for television's fantasy families. Fact 8. Barry Williams and Florence Henderson's dinner date.
What does this have to do with my meeting?
Well, I want you to go to the bicycle shop with me now.
The headlines wrote themselves, but the truth was far more innocent than anyone imagined. 16-year-old Barry Williams had developed a serious crush on Florence Henderson, the woman playing his television mother. With teenage confidence and zero understanding of public relations, he asked her to dinner. Henderson, seeing a young cast member who might be homesick, graciously accepted. What followed was a media-feeding frenzy that transformed an innocent mentorship dinner into tabloid scandal. Barry Brady dates TV mom screamed across entertainment magazines. The age difference, the on-screen relationship, the potential impropriety. It was perfect gossip material. Henderson handled the situation with characteristic grace and humor, later calling it the dinner that launched 1,000 headlines. The real relationship was motherly guidance and career advice. The media narrative was something far more sensational and completely fictional. Fact 9. Maureen McCormick's real broken nose.
Hey, you guys. Oh, my nose!
Sometimes television's most memorable moments happen when reality crashes directly into scripted fiction. The famous football episode where Marcia gets hit in the nose wasn't entirely acting. Maureen McCormick had actually broken her nose in a completely unrelated accident, falling downstairs off-set days before filming. Rather than delay production, the writers incorporated her real injury into the script. When it came time to film the football hit, Christopher Knight couldn't hit his target during multiple takes. Producer Lloyd Schwartz stepped in, took the football, and delivered a perfect throw that connected with McCormick's already injured nose. The reaction was genuine pain mixed with professional dedication. One take, one perfect throw, one real injury transformed into television history. Sometimes the best acting happens when performers aren't acting at all. Fact 10. Tiger's tragic death.
What's the matter with you, Tiger? You usually enjoy a bath.
Not every Brady family story had a happy ending. Tiger, the Brady family dog, became a casualty of television production in the most heartbreaking way possible. During a break between takes, Tiger's trainer decided to give the dog some exercise. What should have been routine care turned into tragedy when Tiger was accidentally hit and killed by a car. The production team scrambled to find a replacement dog, but no animal could match Tiger's specific temperament and training. The new dog couldn't perform the tricks, couldn't hit the marks, couldn't capture the personality that made Tiger part of the Brady family magic. Rather than acknowledge the tragedy or explain Tiger's disappearance, producers simply wrote him out of the show without explanation. America's perfect family lost their pet, and no one was allowed to grieve. Even in tragedy, the Brady Bunch had to maintain its wholesome facade. Fact 11, the show came from divorce statistics.
Have you boys been saving up for something too?
A silly old rowboat.
The Brady Bunch's origin story began with a 1965 Los Angeles Times statistic that would change television forever. Creator Sherwood Schwartz read that 31% of marriages involved people with children from previous relationships. In an era when television families were nuclear and traditional, this statistic represented millions of American families who never saw themselves reflected on screen. Schwartz initially titled his concept Yours and Mine, and spent 3 years shopping it to networks. Everyone passed. The idea of blended families was too complicated, too messy, too real for television's sanitized family programming. Then, Yours, Mine, and Ours became a hit film, proving audiences were ready for non-traditional family structures. Suddenly, networks were interested. ABC picked up Schwartz's pitch, and television gained its first prominent blended family, even if they never explained what happened to Carol's first husband. Fact 12. Carol Brady's mysterious first husband.
All you have to do is worry about solving your problem.
What do you mean, your problem?
The most haunting Brady mystery wasn't about the kids or the house. It was about the man who came before Mike Brady. Carol Brady was originally conceived as a divorced woman, with her maiden name Tyler and married name Martin revealed in the pilot episode. But divorce was taboo for family television in 1969. Networks couldn't promote a show about a broken home, even if it was rebuilding into something beautiful. The solution was elegant in its simplicity. Never mention Carol's first husband again. No explanation, no backstory, no acknowledgement that Carol's 3 daughters had a biological father somewhere in the world. He simply vanished from the narrative. Florence Henderson later joked that she'd killed him off. But the truth was more complicated. Television's version of the perfect blended family could only exist by erasing the messy reality of what came before. Sometimes perfection requires selective amnesia. Fact 13. Florence Henderson started late and wore a wig.
Well, I'm not going to let you go away alone. That's a big world out there.
The Brady matriarch almost missed her own show's beginning due to the demands of live theater. Florence Henderson was committed to an off-Broadway production when Brady filming began. Her short haircut from the stage work didn't match the television vision of the perfect suburban mother. For the first 6 episodes, a stand-in actress played Carol Brady, while Henderson finished Song of Norway in Denmark. When Henderson finally joined the production, she spent the entire first season wearing a wig. The carefully styled hairpiece became her television signature, but it represented the complex juggling act of actors moving between different mediums and different looks. Television demanded consistency and perfection. Live theater demanded commitment and authenticity. Henderson managed both, but the compromise was literally wearing her television character's appearance, while her real hair grew back to Brady-appropriate length. Fact 14. Eve Plum's real glasses. Hatred.
Their dad's gonna go there and pick him up and then drive him home.
Jan Brady's middle child syndrome extended beyond the script into Eve Plum's real-life insecurities. Plum wore glasses in real life, but hated them with genuine passion. The thick lenses made her feel unattractive and awkward, emotions that perfectly matched Jan Brady's perpetual middle child struggles. The writers seized on this authentic insecurity and wrote it directly into the show. When Jan threw her on-screen tantrum about wearing glasses, Plum wasn't really acting. She was expressing her real frustration with how the glasses made her feel and look. The performance was authentic because the emotions were authentic. Television's middle Brady child was dealing with real middle child problems, and viewers connected with the genuine emotion behind the scripted words. Sometimes the best family television happens when the actors' real lives bleed through the fictional facade. Fact 15. Christopher Knight's voice. Cracks became comedy.
I'm sorry. I won't tell anybody.
Growing up on television means every awkward moment becomes permanent entertainment. Christopher Knight was hitting puberty during season 4, and his changing voice became impossible to hide. Rather than recast or work around the issue, producers decided to embrace the natural development and write it into the show for comedic effect. Knight's real voice cracks became Peter Brady's voice cracks, turning adolescent awkwardness into family-friendly humor. But his problems extended beyond vocal changes. Knight had poor singing abilities and often lip-synced during musical numbers. Sometimes his lines were dubbed by producer Howard Leeds. The Brady Bunch became a unique document of childhood development, capturing the real process of growing up while maintaining the fictional family structure. Peter Brady's awkward phase was Christopher Knight's awkward phase, preserved forever in syndicated reruns. Fact 16. Susan Olsen's real lisp became plot device.
I counted having my mother for your stepmother.
Cindy Brady's speech patterns weren't acting choices. They were authentic speech development captured on television. Susan Olsen had a natural lisp that producers initially considered a casting problem. Instead of replacing her, they decided to incorporate her speech patterns into the character and storylines. The famous episode A Fistful of Reasons featured Cindy being bullied with baby talk, it's a wonder you can walk." The storyline reflected real experiences of children with speech differences. Olsen worked with speech therapists throughout the series and eventually had surgery at 19 to correct her pronunciation. But during the Brady years, her lisp became part of the show's authentic charm. Television's youngest Brady sister was dealing with real speech development issues, and the show handled them with sensitivity while maintaining entertainment value. Sometimes authentic character development happens naturally, without scripts or acting direction. Fact 17. Barry Williams and Maureen McCormick's secret romance.
Who's getting spooked by all those funny noises?
Behind the cameras, television's oldest Brady siblings were writing their own romantic subplot. Barry Williams and Maureen McCormick shared their first kiss during the Hawaii episodes, and the chemistry was immediately apparent to everyone on set. What followed was an intense teenage relationship that began affecting their ability to play siblings convincingly. Directors had to implement creative solutions to keep Williams and McCormick apart during filming. Their romantic energy was too obvious, too real for characters who were supposed to be brother and sister. The professional boundary between fiction and reality was completely dissolving. The relationship burned intensely and ended dramatically, as teenage romances often do. But for a period during Brady production, America's television siblings were navigating real romance while pretending to be family. The irony was lost on no one except the viewing audience. Fact 18. Mike Lookinland's hair-dyeing ordeal.
I slept like a rock. A frightened rock.
Creating television families requires making biological impossibilities look natural under studio lights. Mike Lookinland arrived at Brady casting with naturally strawberry blonde hair that looked nothing like Robert Reed's dark brown. To create a believable father-son relationship, Lookinland endured multiple hair dyeing sessions to achieve a darker shade that would photograph consistently. The dyeing process became a regular part of Lookinland's Brady routine. Every few weeks, he'd sit in a makeup chair while chemicals transformed his natural hair color into something that matched television's version of genetic inheritance. The process was uncomfortable, time-consuming, and completely necessary for the show's visual continuity. Television families require biological plausibility, even when the biology is artificially created through cosmetics and chemistry. Bobby Brady's dark hair was Mike Lookinland's commitment to the fiction of Brady genetics. Fact 19. Maureen McCormick's hidden struggles.
Orphans don't have mothers and fathers, not brothers.
Perfect Marcia Brady was hiding imperfect real-life challenges that no television script could resolve. Despite playing television's most popular teenager, 14-year-old Maureen McCormick was battling anxiety and deep insecurities. The pressure of representing perfection while feeling imperfect created internal conflicts that would last long after the cameras stopped rolling. After the series ended, McCormick's struggles intensified. She developed substance abuse problems, missed a Steven Spielberg audition for Raiders of the Lost Ark due to addiction issues, and spent nights at the Playboy Mansion seeking escape from the wholesome image that defined her career. The contrast between Marcia Brady's perfect world and Maureen McCormick's real struggles became a cautionary tale about child stardom. Sometimes playing perfect characters creates impossible standards that real people cannot maintain. Fact 20. Florence Henderson's Star Trek encounter.
And you know as well as I do that there's no such thing as ghosts.
Television studios in the 1960s were small worlds where different universes occasionally collided in unexpected ways. Florence Henderson arrived late for her Brady Bunch screen test and accidentally wandered into the wrong makeup room. She found herself sitting between William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, who were in full Star Trek preparation mode. Both actors, focused on their own transformations, completely ignored the confused woman who had materialized between them. Henderson sat quietly, uncertain whether to interrupt or explain her presence. The moment lasted several uncomfortable minutes before someone realized the mistake and redirected her to the correct Brady audition space. The incident became a perfect metaphor for television production. Different shows, different worlds, different realities, all existing simultaneously in the same physical space, with occasional moments of surreal crossover. Fact 21. Debbie Storm's replacement as Jan.
I don't want a party or anything ever from you.
Television casting decisions can change lives in single conversations. Debbie Storm was originally cast as Jan Brady, but creator Sherwood Schwartz had a vision that required modification. He decided all 3 Brady girls should be blonde to create visual consistency and family resemblance. Storm didn't fit the revised vision. Enter Eve Plum, who matched the blonde requirement and brought the middle child energy that Schwartz was seeking. Storm was released from her contract and replaced before filming began. However, the Brady universe wasn't finished with her. She later appeared in the episode My Fair Opponent as guest character Molly Weber. One casting decision created 2 different Brady experiences. Storm went from being a series regular to a guest star, while Plum became television's most famous middle child. Sometimes the smallest creative decisions have the largest life. Fact 22. Joyce Bulifant's near-miss casting.
But the slumber party is on again.
Before Florence Henderson became America's favorite television mother, another actress was closer to landing the role. Joyce Bulifant was used in most Brady Bunch screen tests and was seriously considered for Carol Brady. Her chemistry with the child actors was strong, her look was appropriate, and she understood the show's family-friendly tone. Eve Plum was partly cast as Jan due to her resemblance to Bulifant. The decision between Bulifant and Henderson came down to subtle differences in energy and star power. Henderson brought musical theater experience and a warmth that perfectly matched the show's wholesome aspirations. Bulifant's Brady Bunch became a parallel universe that existed only in screen tests and casting directors' imaginations. Television history is full of near misses and almost decisions that would have changed everything. Carol Brady could have been Joyce Bulifant, and the Brady Bunch might have been a completely different show. Fact 23. The complex hair color casting strategy.
That'll be enough of that. Now, come on, help me.
Sherwood Schwartz approached Brady casting like a mathematical equation with multiple variables and possible solutions. The original casting plan involved 12 potential child actors: 3 blonde girls, 3 brunette girls, 3 blonde boys, and 3 dark-haired boys. This system allowed producers to match whatever parental pairings were ultimately chosen, ensuring visual consistency regardless of the final adult casting decisions. The strategy kept options open for contrasting parent hair colors and different family genetic possibilities. If they cast a blonde mother and dark-haired father, they could choose appropriately matched children. If both parents were brunette, different combinations were possible. The systematic approach to family resemblance revealed television's obsession with visual plausibility. Fictional families needed to look like real families, even when the genetics were artificially constructed through careful casting mathematics. Fact 24. The Brady Bunch was never actually popular.
Hey, any of you monsters want a hot dog?
Television immortality sometimes begins with television failure. During its original 5-season run, The Brady Bunch never cracked the top 30 television ratings. Critics dismissed it as corny, too sweet, and unrealistic. The show was canceled in 1974 without fanfare or cultural recognition, but something magical happened in syndicated reruns during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Children watching after school discovered the Brady family and embraced the wholesome fantasy. What failed with adult audiences succeeded brilliantly with young viewers who didn't need realistic family drama. They wanted idealized family comfort. The Brady Bunch became a cultural icon precisely because it failed as contemporary television. Sometimes lasting art emerges from commercial disappointment, finding its true audience years after its creators give up hope. Fact 25. The Failed Kelly's Kids spin-off.
Mom, that's the 3rd time you looked through that. There's no identification in there.
Television's attempt at progressive family representation arrived before audiences were ready. The final Brady season included a backdoor pilot called Kelly's Kids, featuring a diverse family with adopted adopted children of different races. The concept was groundbreaking for its time. A white couple adopting Black, Asian, and white children to create an intentionally inclusive family unit. The pilot episode aired as part of the Brady Bunch's final season, but networks weren't ready to greenlight a series about interracial adoption. The concept was too progressive, too challenging for television's conservative family programming standards. Kelly's Kids represented the Brady Bunch's attempt to evolve beyond its white suburban limitations. The failure to get picked up revealed television's boundaries around representation and family diversity. Sometimes good intentions arrive before social readiness. Fact 26. Cousin Oliver nearly got his own show.
I thought so too, but there sure is a lot of evidence on the other side.
Television's most infamous child character almost became a franchise unto himself. Robbie Rist joined the Brady Bunch as Cousin Oliver in Season 5, intended to inject new youthful energy into a show whose child actors were growing too old. Producers believed Oliver would become a breakout star and seriously considered giving him his own spin-off series. Instead, Cousin Oliver became television shorthand for desperate attempts to revive failing shows. Fans blamed him for ruining the Brady Bunch's family chemistry. He became the poster child for jumping the shark, the moment when shows add new elements that destroy their original appeal. The planned spin-off never materialized. Instead, Cousin Oliver entered television history as a cautionary tale about artificial attempts to recapture lightning in a bottle. Sometimes the cure becomes worse than the disease. Fact 27. The Hidden Peanuts reference.
Want a piece of licorice? Yeah, I bet you do.
Television writers love insider jokes that reward careful viewing and cultural knowledge. In Jan Brady's Black Wig episode, the character Lucy was named after actress Pamela Ferdin, who provided the voice of Lucy Van Pelt in Peanuts animated specials. The reference was an inside joke for animation fans and industry insiders who would recognize the connection. These subtle references added layers of meaning for viewers with specialized knowledge while remaining invisible to general audiences. The Brady Bunch operated on multiple levels: surface family entertainment and deeper cultural commentary for those who knew where to look. Television's best inside jokes reward attention and knowledge without alienating casual viewers. The Peanuts reference was perfect Brady humor, wholesome on the surface, clever underneath. Fact 28. The Brady kids became actual pop stars. The Brady children's television fame translated into real-world musical careers that blurred the line between character and performer. In the early 1970s, the cast recorded and released an album called Meet the Brady Bunch and embarked on a live musical tour. They performed at state fairs and small venues across America, bringing Brady family entertainment to live audiences. The performances created a surreal experience where television characters became real musicians performing for fans who couldn't separate fiction from reality. Maureen McCormick later admitted she lip-synced during many performances, adding another layer of artifice to the already complex relationship between Brady characters and Brady actors. The musical phase represented the Brady Bunch's expansion beyond television into multimedia family entertainment. The Brady kids weren't just actors playing characters, they were characters becoming real performers. Fact 29. Production errors became beloved quirks.
You don't share with us, Stingy. We don't share with you.
Television's imperfections became part of its charm when home video allowed detailed scrutiny. Small mistakes that went unnoticed during original broadcasts became legendary among Brady fans in the VCR and DVD era. The family leaving in a convertible but returning in a station wagon. Jan's hair changing from ponytail to loose during a single scene. Continuity errors that revealed the artificial construction behind television's seamless illusion. These mistakes became treasured discoveries for dedicated fans who watched episodes repeatedly, finding new imperfections with each viewing. The errors humanized the production and made viewers feel like they were discovering insider secrets. Sometimes television's flaws become more endearing than its perfections. The Brady Bunch's mistakes became evidence of human creativity struggling to maintain impossible consistency, making the show more lovable rather than less credible. Fact 30. Susan Olsen's unscripted tongue.
Can I have a stamp, Daddy? I want to send away for a horse.
The most authentic Brady moment happened when the cameras were supposedly not recording. During filming, Susan Olsen stuck her tongue out at the camera because she thought it was still a rehearsal take. The spontaneous gesture was completely unscripted and unplanned, but it perfectly captured Cindy Brady's mischievous personality. The directors loved the unguarded moment so much that they kept it in the final episode. The tongue out became part of the Brady Bunch's charm, a real child's spontaneous reaction preserved in television amber. Sometimes television's most memorable moments happen when performers forget they're performing. Susan Olsen's tongue became a symbol of authentic childhood breaking through television's manufactured perfection. Bonus fact: the syndication miracle. Here's where the Brady Bunch's story takes its most beautiful turn. In 1977, 3 years after cancellation and commercial failure, something unexpected happened. Local television stations began airing Brady reruns in after-school time slots. Children coming home from school discovered this canceled family show and embraced it completely. The Brady Bunch didn't find its audience during its original run. It found its audience in syndication, among viewers who were the same age as the Brady children. Kids connected with the show because they could see themselves in the Brady kids' experiences, even when those experiences were sanitized and idealized. The syndication success transformed the Brady Bunch from television failure to cultural institution. What couldn't compete with contemporary programming became timeless family entertainment. The show's greatest weakness, its artificial perfection, became its greatest strength for young viewers seeking comfort and consistency. The Brady Bunch proved that television immortality doesn't require critical acclaim or commercial success during original broadcasts. Sometimes the most lasting art finds its audience by accident, years after its creators have moved on to other projects. Closing. The Brady Bunch wasn't just a television show, it was a 50-year experiment in artificial family creation that accidentally became real. Behind every perfect family dinner and wholesome moral lesson was a crew of people making it up as they went along, dealing with real problems while creating fictional solutions. The chaos behind the cameras, broken noses, falling hair, secret romances, missing toilets, and tragic pet deaths didn't destroy the Brady magic. It created it. The show succeeded because real people were struggling to create something perfect, and their struggles became more interesting than the perfection they were trying to achieve. So here's the question. What other perfect families in your life are actually held together by beautiful chaos, creative problem-solving, and people trying their best under impossible circumstances? The Brady Bunch taught us that families don't have to be perfect for each other. Sometimes the most lasting love stories are about people choosing to stay together despite everything falling apart around them, and that's the way they all became the Brady Bunch.